let's move to the more interesting stuff. Let me actually bring up the TLR so I can zoom in.
Bring up the TLR.
Necessary.
And let's keep this to a watermelon seed capacity.
Watermelon seed capacity.
Yes. I think that's Hunter King's car, who did make the finals in stock this past weekend.
Yeah, I wrote a
No, that's
note.
not Hunter King's car. He doesn't run Trinity.
Yeah, I don't know who this is. Either way, TLR finally released a new two-wheel buggy just when all of their pro guys. Maybe it was that they just needed to get rid of their team, so they have money to make a new car. I don't know. Fenn was driving this thing at the late parts of last year with pretty good results. I think he won at. No, did he win? I can't remember, but he did pretty
Where do you
well.
think
He
he win?
wasn't.
He didn't win at
The
Carpet Champs, and he didn't win at Beach RC, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so then he didn't win. But either way, he did okay. So it wasn't like it was bad at all. Um so first impressions, we already talked about this car back then, like the first impressions. Rear shock tower in front of the rear shocks, but still in front of the arm. So the rear shock tower is like really far forwards. Um Front shock tower, TLR has been one of those cars with the shocks in front of the tower. Now the tower is in front of the shocks. So they like to move the shocks behind the tower. And to be honest, I think this is smart because of the fact that have you seen those freaking carpet protections on these cars? Like a Schumacher had that carpet protection thing on over the shocks. That thing was ugly as hell. So I'd much rather take this than that. So as a designer, I would probably keep that in mind. So good job for TLR for this one. Um, yeah. So shock towers look different. Obviously, everything is pretty much new. Biggest differences in geometry, at least to what I initially see, is that they do have longer arms. They have extended the arms a bit. I Okay, that's by looking at the eye. I haven't measured. Um, Interesting. Like the most interesting thing about this car, I gotta kind of bring this down again, is the that you can actually tune the front end geometry. So you can see here. Here's the Is this now the yeah, this is the carpet, I guess, edition. So you have a higher offset here with the kingpin brought in, and then you have a lower offset with the kingpin brought out. So I don't know. Okay, I gotta be honest, I don't know why you need two knuckles, but let's get that out of the way. The interesting part is that you have two offsets on the hub. Um, so you can play with this. You can introduce more offset, more scrub, less scrub independently, which to my knowledge, no other brand does. So an interesting tuning option because you can switch them around. And it's interesting to see how that will play out. Other than that, it's a two-wheel buggy.
So would you say that this? I asked this question in our group chat. Basically, this buggy is caught up to the rest of the other 10 scale buggies out there, pretty much. Quick access diffs, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Let's say it's not a big innovation,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely different from the other buggies. Like it's not
Okay.
like when they call the Mugen a copy of the TLR.
Mm-hmm.
This is like its own new thing. Like
Got you.
the front end is like very similar looking to AE,
Mm-hmm.
and the rear end, I gotta be honest, is also somewhat similar looking to AE. But what I think they actually did was they kind of looked at their own car. The TLR has been said to be a really good one. And then they looked at AE, and then they was like, okay, what things we're suffering and what the things they're good at. And then they brought sort of both options available into one car. And then they updated to plastics and so on. But there's not there's nothing that crazy new and innovative about this, but it's a modern car, which I think will handle well and will sell decently at the very least.
Yeah, I know there's people that are TLR pure diehards will get it, and they'll have it. They'll have a modern car. Hunter King did really well with it. He made both A finals. He kind of got screwed in the beginning of one of his
Yeah,
finals.
yeah.
That's his specialty stock. It comes back. Bill says it. We've said it. They don't have a team, but it's still going to sell some cars because it's people were excited about it, and I get it. I'm not gonna piss in the cornflakes of the TLR guys. I get it. You're excited. You got a new car. It's good. Hopefully, we'll see some on the tracks. But still, at the end of the day, on a top level, they still don't have anybody to compete with it. And that's I get excited, but I don't get excited, if that makes sense. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, like, if you want the old TLR, you buy a Mugen. If you want the old Associated, you buy an X-Ray. If you want the new Associated, you buy an Associated. And if you want something new that's probably going to work and it's probably going to be decently priced, and well, parts availability has been a question, so scrap that idea. But um, I think TLR, when you look at objectively the market without this team perspective, it's not a bad buy. I would consider it, like, if I was just like objectively trying to buy a car without considering like that Horizon might have parts shortages. um,
We're gonna go to commercial because you're starting to sound like a Horizon corporate shill.